Hey man, what's going on? Today I'm excited to talk to you. We're talking about some of the weird things that women are attracted to. By the way, don't mind the completely disheveled wolfman look. It's still been a minute since I've been able to go out because things are closed down, so I can't get their things cut. But anyway, we're talking about some of the weird things that women are attracted to, and stay tuned to the end because at the end what I did was I asked a bunch of my friends to send me clips of them giving their opinion on some of the really weird things that women are attracted to. So it's kind of fun, and you'll see a little montage of that towards the end. But for now, let's talk about some things that are things I've brought up before in the past. And the reason why I think that they're so weird is because it's very counterintuitive. This is the problem with understanding attraction, is a lot of it is counterintuitive, which means that it's not intuitive, where it doesn't really come naturally to us guys. You know, it's kind of hard to understand because everything we've learned about attraction, we've learned from, movies and books and things like that, like fantasies, like not real life. But in reality, in the real world here, attraction is counterintuitive. Let me explain. And it's cool too, because I'm going to teach you this, and it's going to really help in terms of getting women more attracted to you. When you actually understand how attraction works, you'll get them attracted to you. And if not, you'll probably end up in the friend zone, which is what a lot of guys do. They take the intuitive, what they think is the right way approach, land in the friend zone, and then nothing happens. So you have to learn it this way. So I'll explain it in terms of TED, my system that I've talked about a lot. TED, tension, entertainment, and dominance, the counterintuitive approach. That is my general theory in terms of attraction. Now I want to specifically pick out the T and the E. So T stands for tension, E stands for entertainment, and D stands for dominance. So let's talk about tension for a second. So tension is creating tension between you and the girl. This is a big part of attraction. And what most guys do is they like to give validation, they like to spend money on girls, like to do like all this giving, when in reality, tension is about withholding. It's about holding back, okay? It's not about give, but hold back. So what does this mean? This means that you want to be a little bit of a challenge. You want to be a challenge to her. You can't be so easy to get. Women are playing the same exact game, and it works. It works on you. It works on me. It works on everyone, okay? This is how it works. You want to be a little bit of a challenge. Most guys are not being challenges, so what happens is they're really easy to get. Women get bored. It shows a weakness in the guy because it's like he'll just be desperate and go for anything, and therefore ends up probably landing in the friend zone or the no attraction zone. So you want to be more of a challenge. Now let's go to E for a second, and then we'll circle back to T again. Again, we're talking about TED, my system for attraction, okay? So E is entertainment. So this is very counterintuitive. Most guys go into situations where they're talking to girls online or on dates or cold approaches, meaning going up and approaching women in person, and they'll set out to entertain them. Like it's all about entertaining them. How do I make her laugh? How do I impress her? Which is what guys ask. And again, guilty here. I've asked that too. Like, how do you impress a girl? How do you make her like you? When in reality, what makes her like you more is not entertaining her, but counterintuitively, entertaining yourself. How can you go into an interaction and make sure that you're prioritizing your fun and your entertainment over hers? Because when you're having a good time, that transfers over to her, and then she ends up having a good time. So this is the idea of entertainment. I'll give you some examples in just a second, so bear with me while I keep going through some of this theory here. Now let's circle back to T, tension, okay? Another thing you want to make sure you're doing is giving her a wide variety of emotions. If you're always giving her one emotion all the time, she's going to get bored. She's not going to be attracted anymore. Women are a little bit more emotional in this sense. So if you're always doing the same thing and providing the same emotion, let's say, for example, happiness, so you're always the nice guy being nice and giving, doing, and making sure there's no drama, no tension, and not being yourself and just trying to be nice guy all the time, well, that doesn't create much tension. It creates a lot of boring interactions, and it's not you being true to who you are. So this doesn't help either. So let's circle back. Let me give you some examples. Let's talk about being a challenge or being more hard to get. A great way to do this, do not shower her with compliments and validation, okay? I know that, I put out videos in the past about how to compliment a girl, and sure, once in a while you could do it, but really at the end of the day, you want to hold back. Hold back. You're doing it anyways to be manipulative, and a lot of guys overdo it and it makes them less of a challenge. So make sure that you're not always giving her that validation. Now, remember when I said a variety of emotions? That's what's gonna do it for her. If she doesn't get validation from you, but then of course you're gonna eventually say something nice to her, that is gonna be so much more powerful in that moment because it's not something that you just willingly give away. And it's gonna be even more meaningful. So there's the more wide variety of emotions. Here's another one. Play a little bit more hard to get, and you're gonna do that by not texting her back. Try going a full day without texting her. She's gonna wanna know where you are, what you're doing, what's going on. Don't worry about her. You're busy. You'll get back to her a day later. A lot of guys might be afraid to do this. I know it's kind of extreme, but this is what's gonna show her that you are busy, you're not so easy to get, and that you have a life. And you might think, oh, Tripp, this is really manipulative. Like, why would I do that? That's not being true to who I am. Well, it should be. Hopefully you're busy enough where you're not sitting there having to respond to her text message. It's okay. You know, about 30 years ago, when there were no text messages and you can just call someone, you would go days without speaking to someone. Just because texting exists now doesn't mean you always have to be communicating with that person. So make sure you're keeping busy and not always responding to her texts. Let's go back to now entertaining. I remember I gave you that idea of entertaining yourself. So there's lots of ways to entertain yourself, but here's an idea. Sometimes if you're just being kind of funny and just joking around and being sarcastic, that is enough to make you have a good time. So I'm just gonna give you an example. This might not be something you might use. You can use whatever you want. Doesn't matter what it is. Anything that makes you laugh, that's funny for you, the topics of conversation you wanna talk about. But I remember this one time, I was talking to a girl, we were just getting to know each other. And then I said to her, I'm like, you do me a big favor, my shoe's untied. Will you tie my shoe for me? Okay, I know that sounds like that's not really funny, Tripp. It doesn't matter if you think it's funny. I thought it was funny in that moment, and I was having a good time, because obviously I can just do that myself, but telling her to do it in that moment and in that interaction, it made sense. And it was funny, and I had a good time with it, and she laughed too, because obviously I'm joking, but either way, I'm having a good time. So I know that's a little bit out of context, but an example of ways you can just entertain yourself by saying things that are funny, self-amusement. I know, right? Weird, counterintuitive. Like you never thought like some of these things would be things that women are actually attracted to, or maybe it didn't surprise you at all, but they're definitely a little bit weird. Now, if you want some even more weird stuff that women are attracted to, here's a quick montage of some of my friends who sent in some clips to tell you some of the weird things that they're attracted to. Check it out.
Weird things that I find attractive about men. For starters, when men have like veiny hands or sort of rough hands, or like kind of dirty fingernails, kind of like clearly somebody who's been outside, like gardening or something, and does manual labor with their hands. I just find that attractive as hell.
I'll text a guy and ask them not to wear cologne. First off, because I don't like cologne. It bothers me. I have a really sensitive nose, and I just don't like them to wear it. And second off, I want to see what they smell like. I'm really attracted to their natural scent. It like kind of turns me on, and I want to see what they smell like.
The voice that guys have when they wake up in the morning, it's like this like sleepy but sexy voice. It's rich, it's gravelly. There's just something about it that I think is so sexy.
How do they make their bed in the morning? Are they tidy? Do they make their bed? How do they make their bed? And overall, is their house clean? Is it tidy? And all those other different things.
If they're ticklish, now that's gonna sound really weird, but I really like to tickle my guy. I just think it's cute, but not only is it cute, but it also shows that you're letting like loose, like in a way that you can't any other time. And it's just nice to see like the confidence that they have to be able to like actually let themselves laugh and have a good time with it. So yeah, that's really attractive to me.
I think it's really attractive when a guy is respected by his friends and they ask for his advice, because that just shows me that they value his opinion. I think it's really attractive when a guy has like the faintest taste of beer or wine or a drink on his lips that just, you just get the smallest little hint of it, you know? It's not even like, wow, you went to the bar, but it's just ever so slightly there. And yeah.